When crayon production began in America in the early 1900s, numerous companies competed for the highly profitable art materials and school supplies market. However, one company emerged as the market leader in 1903 and remains at the top nearly 120 years later. Anyone who has ever used crayons knows the Crayola brand, coined by Mrs. Alice Binney, the wife of one of the company's founders. Crayola produces an average of 3 billion crayons a year, or 8 million a day. To put this in perspective, if you laid these crayons end to end, they would circle the Earth 6 times. Crayon manufacturing has significantly evolved over the last 120 years. In 1900, crayons were available in just 8 different colors. Today, that number has increased to 120 vibrant colors. But how are they made? Crayons consist of paraffin, a waxy substance derived from wood, coal, or petroleum. Paraffin is compatible with a wide range of pigments, non-toxic, and safe for use, making it perfect for crayon production. It also has a good rub-off, meaning it leaves enough wax on the paper. Paraffin is delivered to the crayon factory in liquid form. Delivery trucks must maintain a warm enough temperature to prevent the paraffin from solidifying. Paraffin becomes liquid at about 135 degrees F, 57 degrees. The next essential material in crayon production is the pigments that give the crayons their color. Since paraffin does not mix with water or aqueous mixtures, the pigments are in powder form, though they may have been produced from an aqueous mixture and then dried. Pigment suppliers follow detailed formulas provided by the crayon manufacturer. Individual pigments are made by mixing chemicals in wooden tanks and filtered to remove excess water, leaving blocks of individual pigments. The pigments are then dried in ovens for several days. After drying, the pigment blocks are mixed according to the color formula, powdered and blended for color consistency. The blends are sent to the crayon factory. Over the last 10 years, additional ingredients have been added to crayons, one of the most popular being glitter, small pieces of reflective material that make the work produced by the crayon sparkle as it catches and reflects random beams of light. Scents and other smells can also be added to the mix. To start production, the paraffin is heated in large industrial boilers to about 80 T until it becomes liquid. The heating temperature and time are precisely controlled to ensure safety and quality of the process. The paraffin is then transferred to huge silos that can hold up to 65,000 L, more than the maximum takeoff weight of the Sikorsky King Stallion, one of the world's largest helicopters. If you think this is a huge amount, remember that a typical crayon factory uses this much in just one day. Since paraffin is a flammable material, strict caution is exercised to ensure safe storage. Workers handling paraffin usually do so wearing masks to avoid inhaling fine particles. The paraffin is moved from storage towers to mixing boilers, where it is mixed with clay. This not only gives the crayons more strength, but also acts as a filler, increasing the number of crayons the wax will produce, making the entire process much more cost-effective. After that, various synthetic chemicals are added to the mix. One prevents the mixture from sticking to the mold. Stearic acid is also added to increase the rub-off. Finally, powdered pigments are added to the mixture. These are of the highest quality to ensure vibrancy and color consistency. Note that all ingredients added to the mix so far are non-toxic. The mixture inside the boilers is kept at a constant temperature to ensure the pigments are fully mixed with the paraffin. The mixture is also thoroughly mixed to ensure an even distribution of color. Once the wax and pigment mixture is well blended, it is pumped into a device called a rotary machine. To prevent the paraffin from hardening, the temperature is controlled. The device first injects the wax into molds. These molds can vary in size and shape depending on the type of crayon being produced. Molds can be made of metal or silicone and are designed to create the familiar cylindrical shape of a crayon. Cold water wraps around the molds, hardening the wax inside within 60 seconds. The cooling process is crucial for the crayons to maintain their shape and structural integrity. As the wax solidifies, it captures the color pigments, resulting in the final vibrant shades of the crayons. The wax at the top of the molds is scraped off with a specialized blade that can be recycled and used in the production of new crayons, reducing waste in the production process. Just one rotary machine produces 2,700 crayons in each of its cycles. With several rotary machines working in unison, a typical factory produces 30,000 crayons every hour. After cooling, the crayons are automatically pushed out of the molds and inspected. Inspectors check each crayon for breaks and chips, as well as signs of bubbles in the cooled crayon, a condition that occurs if mixing was not complete. Rejected crayons are returned to the containers to be remelted and recast. In the early days of crayon production, an entire factory floor might be dedicated to producing a single crayon color for a day or more. Afterward, the color molding machines were cleaned, and a new color was produced. In today's factory, the demand for crayons is so huge, and the number of different crayons so large, easily more than 100, that individual containers and molds are dedicated only to one or a few colors, and production lines run day and night. After the molding and inspection process, a conveyor belt transports the crayons to the labeling machine. One by one, they fall into the grooves of a rotating drum on the bottom left. Glue covers the surface between the grooves just before the crayons enter the machine, then slaps a label on each crayon. A roller then presses the label against the adhesive, then a small arm wraps it around the crayon. This machine can label 8,500 crayons an hour. To meet the factory's daily production quota, several of these machines are used. Quality control is a critical aspect of crayon production, so a final check occurs just before packaging. Random samples from each batch are tested for color accuracy, hardness, and other specifications. This ensures the crayons meet the desired standards and any defects are identified and addressed before packaging. Once the crayons pass quality control, they are ready for packaging. Crayons are typically packed in cardboard boxes or plastic containers, and the packaging may include additional information such as color names, usage instructions, and safety warnings. The packaging process is automated, with machines counting and sorting the crayons before placing them in their final packaging. The packaged crayons are then prepared for distribution. They are boxed and palletized for shipping to retailers, schools, and other distribution points. This stage involves logistical coordination to ensure the crayons reach their destinations in a timely and cost-effective manner. Well, this marks the end of a crayon's journey. If you're curious about how other everyday items are made, check out this video.